What is a plan? What is a plan? Mr. Japan, Mr. Japan, bam, 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 Mr. Japan. What is a plan? Mr. Japan.
What is going on, guys? It's Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and today's show is going to be packed. We're going to talk about, of course, Japan doing the largest drills in 30 years. We're also going to talk about China, Australia, UK, everything that's happening right now, and everything else that is happening that's distracting you from what is really happening. We'll be right back right after these messages. Nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect my opinion, Dex's opinion, or anyone else who works with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. If you have not already, it helps us out if you end up going through any of our affiliates, and it helps you out if you end up protecting yourself against cybercrime. NordVPN is one of the best and one of the easiest to use. If you do not have a virtual private network, it protects your IP address, which is your online identity, which actually connects to your real address and everything else. It also connects to you. If you know anything about how they are data logging and basically getting your profiles down, you can prevent that by having a VPN. Nord is, again, one of the easiest. Download it. It's like an on switch and off switch. All you have to do. Go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. Not only will you get a giant discount on this, but you will also be helping us. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate everyone that goes through any of our affiliates. Can't say thank you enough. All right, what is going on, guys? It is Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Remember, you can always get notifications of exactly when we go live, because this is a live show and anything can happen on marfooglenews.com. Make sure to go to the top and you'll see a button that says email alerts. You can also get, of course, direct notifications right to your phone when we go live, or upload anything for that matter. If you're new here, just want to make sure that you know all of the stories that we're going to cover. We actually make sure to have a bibliography of all of our sources. So whether it be a document, a video, a tweet, or even an article, we are going to, of course, put that on our website. When you go to marfooglenews.com, it's very easy to navigate. It's all done by thumbnail. And when you go there, you will see that in the top left corner, if you do it today, is Japan prepares for worst case, and that is exactly what they are doing. When you click on that, you will see all of the links for today's show, plus more. In fact, at the bottom, there's Too Hot for TV. Basically, the stuff that everybody is getting knocked off the internet for, that would be down at the bottom of the page. And then we are truly independent. We do not have a multi-channel network. We do not have a multi-billion-dollar company behind us. We have you. And our affiliates. So if you do want to do a PayPal and get something read during the show, or if you just want to end up purchasing one of our sponsors' affiliated items and help us out, then do that as well. Let's bring in my co-host / internet brother, Dex. How are you doing today, and what is going on?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing just fine.
Well, thank you for the 1,200 that are already in chat. I appreciate all of you guys, and thank you, D-Live, for being here as well. It looks like we have Jaybird, Firefighter, Kishara is in the house, Mr. Master H, Mark's Drums, Lurker 1, and Dixie Doe. Let's get right into the news. Of course, we have Russia to open new frontier in space, shooting first full-length movie. It says the first satellite in space, the first dog, the first man, the first woman, and now, if all goes planned, the first movie. It says Russia took, of course, a step closer on Thursday to claiming another record in space when a commission of medical and safety experts approved a plan for an actress and a director to blast off early next month to film the first full-length fictional movie in space. It says the movie, called The Challenge, tells of a female doctor launched on short notice to the International Space Station to save the life of a cosmonaut. If filmed on schedule next month, it would beat Hollywood to low Earth orbit. NASA announced last year's plans by Tom Cruise to film on the station. Russia's space agency Roscosmos then announced its movie-making ambition. It says, at a news conference in Moscow before departing for the launch, the Russian actress, the director, and their doubles, both roles have backups, lest a last-minute health problem derail the project, spoke enthusiastically about a new frontier in show business. They said that they hoped to portray weightlessness as never before in fiction through the skills of a professional actress, the emotions of a floating freely and seeing Earth from the heavens. It says, for the first 2 seconds, it's scary, said Yulia Persild, who is on track to become the first actor in space of her training in an airplane flight that briefly created microgravity environment. After that, it's beautiful. So there's a huge difference between the microgravity and supposed real gravity or the lack thereof. So this whole thing is just so absurd. It's like, so now we're sending kind of these rich tourists up to space, and we're sending actresses and these kind of things to film films. I still don't think that many people, of course, are going to be happy until just the regular Joe can go up there. As far as the big movies, of course, they can CGI anything. So even if it fails, I guess Russia could say, just do CGI and make it look like it. If you've seen films like, I want to say it was called Gravity, I believe that was what it is, where it was George Clooney and what's-her-face, that movie looked extremely real. So you never know. What do you think about this? Would you watch that movie, even if it was in a different language? Would you watch it if it was actually filmed in space? Do you believe it's actually filmed in space, or do you think that something's going to happen before they end up going up there? It's very interesting. Again, just to remind you, today is a call-in show. If you do want to call in, you can at 224-400-MARF. That number is going to be scrolling down below me. Again, that is 2244006273. That is, again, 2244006273. Make sure to press option 4 when you get to our phone tree, and you will see it. And then you will actually get Dex. Shape-shifting Tic Tac UFOs buzz U.S. Space Force base tasked by T-Man to probe threats from outer space. It says, quote, a Tic Tac-shaped UFO has been spotted flying, appearing to shapeshift near a U.S. Space Force base. A Skywatcher has claimed, of course. It says, Jason Sirachi filmed several strange orbs and pill-like objects over the Air Force Base and posted them on his YouTube channel and Instagram. It says that, of course, Jason spotted these aerial phenomena and were said to have been repeatedly over the Buckley Space Force base in Aurora, Colorado, U.S. U.S. Space Force units are tasked with protecting U.S. satellites orbiting the planet and were first set up by DT in December of 2019. Mr. Sirachi shared numerous snippets of footage which showed the objects during a broad daylight and a night using night vision cameras. The objects appear to change shape, while others are similar to the infamous Tic Tac UFO filmed by the USO Navy pilots in an infamous encounter in 2004. It comes as the U.S. continues to probe UFOs. So instead of the other way around, we're probing them, apparently. It says now more commonly known as unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs, following the release of a much-anticipated report that was absolutely full of nothing. So, this is, people could say that this is a distraction from what's really going on, but this doesn't even garner attention anymore. As far as, these things, they are constantly reporting new things in the sky. What do you think they are? What do you think? Do you think that these are other countries doing it? Do you think it's our own government? And then, of course, if it's spotted above a Space Force base, they say, oh, yeah, we don't know what that is. But they very well could. There have been patents for these different kind of jet craft things that change shape depending on how fast they go. Would that be it? I don't think so, because apparently these were kind of hovering or slow. If they were going hypersonic speeds, there's new designs where they go from more of almost a half round kind of pear shape to then almost like a pencil. I've seen that kind of design, and then there's patents for all sorts of weird stuff. There's patents for things that shouldn't even exist. So who knows what we're going to see in the next couple of years. And then Kara Fuse, thank you for being the last one out last night. I really do appreciate that. And then for everybody that has popped in already, thank you everybody that has joined. I really do appreciate all of you. Jillian's Gems, thank you for being the last one out as well, along with God's Angel Brockett. And then Stephen McMahon, all three of you, I think I missed last night. And Marfoole's Gold says, that will be the gringos going the other way soon. So I'm sorry I missed you guys, and I appreciate all of you stopping by last night. And then, so as far as the Tic Tac stuff, have you seen like anything like this in real life? If you have, just remember you can actually send your video to marfooglenews.com, go up to the top, and of course you can click play my video. Once you do that, you will see that you can actually upload or link your video, and we will be able to play it here on the show. And then economic recession, millions of jobs lost, possible if debt ceiling is hit. This is what the White House is saying in, of course, October. White House warns of an economic recession and millions of jobs lost if the debt ceiling is hit after blasting Republicans for refusing to work with Democrats on raising the limits. So a lot of this circus has happened the last few years in a row. It says a manufactured economic recession could plunge the United States into chaos and result of millions of jobs lost if Congress doesn't take action on the debt ceiling. The White House, of course, warned Friday. It says hitting the debt ceiling could cause a recession, economic growth could falter, unemployment would rise, and the labor market could lose millions of jobs. It says failing to raise or suspend the country's borrowing limit would hinder the country's recovery from the heavy toll the CV has took on hospitality and travel industries, resulting in millions of Americans losing employment. One thing that I will say is my local state here, at least several counties have now made a rule where you actually have to have a certain pass on you to go to restaurants, fairs, or any kind of event like that. I would think that would actually hurt local businesses and then in turn hurting the economy. Just saying. Again, when they have done these before, they've actually looked at the stats and they said, well, this hurt, and what help did it get out of it now that we're basically back at square one? So lots of craziness going on in general. By the way, that means so if you don't have a special pass, you cannot go and eat at a restaurant, or I'm guessing they're going to add in malls and things like this after October 24th. Pretty crazy stuff. Really, really is. Speaking of which, we will talk about it here in just a little bit. Of course, everybody, the entire world is talking about Nicki Minaj. Some people, I don't want to hear about it. Trust me. I normally don't, but a lot of people think that she is like controlled opposition or whatever else. I did watch her get booted off of Twitter today or yesterday, was it? And I actually think that she might have actually been booted after they denied that they did in the first place. Her messages, I don't see how she could do what she did and then somehow hurt the other side because it's going to be used against. Really, she got millions and millions of people up in arms and thinking about different things. So I don't see how there could be much negative, but we'll talk about that later and we'll show you what's going on. In fact, there was a march, which that I guess you could call something weird. Deanne Cerbro says, have you heard about Project Bluebeam? Yeah, we've talked about Project Bluebeam plenty of times. I almost think, though, Project Bluebeam would be out of date by now. They, I believe, have new technology that has replaced Project Bluebeam, and that's just my theory. As far as they wouldn't even need, 3 or more satellites connecting to show an image. I don't even think they would need that anymore. I think that they have new technology that's greater than Project Bluebeam, but that's just my theory on that. As far as we've seen a couple weird things in Dubai that made people think that there was an object the size of a planet right in front of them, and a lot of people actually believed it. And then It says the U.S. economy has just begun to recover from the and manufactured debt ceiling crisis would threaten the gains we've made and the future recovery. If the U.S. defaults on its obligations, the ripple effects will hurt cities and states across the country, the White House said. Which, by the way, the White House said a ton of stuff in the last day or so, including a video that basically makes this administration hated by millions. People are super pissed. It's almost like they tried to do it, which, by the way, normally the White House actually spins them away from drama like that. Today, they're like, oh, we have a special guest here. Come on down. Talk smack about this operation for us. I'll show you that here in just a minute. It says when House lawmakers return next week, they will look at suspending the debt limit. So we do have callers tonight. If again, we'll try to go over there. It looks like we do have survival living already. So we will get survival living on. But first, I do want to remind you, if you can, make sure to go over and check out, of course, marfooglenews.com/prep. There is a ton of stuff over there. In fact, this is basically got everything that you would need to survive long-term or short-term if any kind of disaster happened. This is it's actually food from My Patriot Supply, and we have worked out a deal with them so you can get a huge discount when you end up going and purchasing through this link. What it does is it brings you as far as a new customer, and it also gives us a commission of your sale at the same time as giving you a giant discount. So it's basically a win-win for everybody. I do believe that after everything that we've shown you, I don't see how many people could be kind of on the fence about prepping and just having extra stuff around. So again, if you do this, this is something that not only helps yourself, it protects you, it could save your life, but it also helps us. If you guys want to see us in a year from now, hopefully, things like this will help. So again, go to marfooglenews.com/prep. They have everything there, all sorts of survival gear, all sorts of great stuff, including water filters. Of course, the Alexa Pure Pro, you've got air filters, you've got battery packs, you've got solar panel, all sorts of stuff is there. So make sure to go check that out. Thank you in advance for going and supporting any of our affiliates. We really do appreciate it. All right, Dex, let's get survival living on, and it looks like he's got some interesting stuff to talk about here. By the way, Jay Rockin, 19-month sub streak. Thank you for all you, Adam and Dex, and the mods do. Thank you. That's awesome. That's a record, I think. Survival living. What is going on?
Hey, Adam. How's it going, brother?
So I did hear that you just finished a course in some sort of prep certification. Is that right?
It was the Pathfinder course that I've been preparing for the last 3 months with Dave Canterbury. I actually completed the course and was one of the 4 guys that were actually able to get patched.
Wait, so you mean...
So I hit the top of the class.
So was there a fail in that kind of thing? Was it something that you could actually fail?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah,
So-
we had a 50% tap out. 50% of the people actually dropped out. We had, I believe it was 9 total that actually completed the course, and only 4 of us that actually got the top score and got the patch for the Pathfinder course.
Okay,
And this
so
was the intermediate scout patch.
okay, so this isn't Boy Scouts. This is an adult program where you go through, and do you actually have to basically show your survival skills? Is that right?
Yes. This is 4 days. It's actually 4 days, 3 nights, and it's rough. I mean, I've been through a couple other survival courses over the years, and this has to be the toughest one I've ever come across. The stress level alone, and being able to react and what to plan out maps to do 5K navigation at drop of a hat with complete stress level, food deprivation, sleep deprivation. Oh yeah, this was a tough one, but I was able to come through on that one.
So would you recommend this to other people now that you've done it, or since half of the people tapped out, is this something that was brutal and not fun?
Well, I definitely would recommend it because I've been pushing a lot on our channel. We started off as a prepping channel because I was hurt originally. I was coming up through surgeries. I was in a wheelchair for about 3 months, and slowly started getting my body back in shape. I'm real big on outdoor survival. I'm not a bushcraft guy, but I believe if you're a prepper, you need to learn how to live off the land if it ever comes down to it. If anything ever happens to your house, if anything ever happened to your supplies, because you don't have things spread out, or you're trying to get from one location to a bug out location to stay alive, and you're having to hit the woods, can you? I really believe we all need to have outdoor skills, because if you got to move, you've got to move. So I've been pushing real hard on them. I just got back, and I'm fixing to leave on Tuesday. I'm fixing to do another 7-day survival camp out here in Florida. I've been doing a couple of those before I went and did the course. So I'll be doing that next week. I recommend, but if you go to these types of courses, I've got a lot of outdoor skills. I know enough just to keep myself in trouble. I always tell people that. But I've been doing it for a very long time. If you've never done a course like this, they have other courses to take first that you can build up to this, because this in here is right below the advanced. You have to take this course before you even get to take the advanced course, because they're just that hard. So they do have a basic one you can go take first. It teaches you shelter build, knots, and land navigation, how to make char, water purification, stuff like that. And this here's the next level, where they just give you a coordinates and you got to go figure out where you're at. So yeah, this one here was a lot tougher.
So, by the way, just to explain, this is CFP, Central Florida Prepper. Now the channel is called Survival Living. He's getting closer up there by 20,000 subscribers. He's a great channel. He talks about prep. He's done prepper minutes for us before as well. If you didn't know, we've done several prepper minutes where it's just, how to make an emergency rain catch, or, how to start a fire with almost nothing. Several of those videos have gone out there, just 1 minute short videos that go out, and it helps you guys, of course, learn how to do some of these things. So him learning these skills is awesome. He does contribute to those videos. Bones and some other people are working on stuff. So again, that is a really great thing. But not only that, let's tell them, why are you doing this? Do you believe that something is happening right now?
Oh yeah, I completely believe something's happened. That's why I started prepping years ago, man. We can look at everything that's going on. I might not have the ins and outs and a date on things. It won't be prepping if you got a date. Okay, that's just That's just going shopping. You can look at the world around you. You can see what's going on with society. You can see pushes from certain spectrum of political sides, and you can see things being pushed. You can see across the world movement of machinery. Let's put it that way. Things are coming and we're past due. That's just man-made. Let's talk about natural coronal mass ejection, pole flips. These things are documented. These things have happened in our past, and they have proven that we're behind on multiple levels of many different disasters. So being ready for these things and being able to adapt when it does happen, everything can be perfect on paper. We can make all the plans in the world, but if we don't know how to implement them when necessary, then we're left with our hand out going, oh crap, what do I do now? You just have a backup plan after a backup plan. And, doing this course here, there's a lot that I do know on this. I'm not here to toot my own horn. That's not it. I ran into a lot of stuff online. Well, who's this guy? He thinks he's so-and-so, such and such. I think Dex was able to get you a video there. I'm standing there with the instructors, and I got Mr. Dave Canterbury himself giving a shout out to my channel after getting patched. So I thought that was freaking awesome. This guy is known internationally for his survival teaching and techniques, plus runs a school. His school not only teaches civilians, his school also teaches military personnel, military groups on land navigation and survival, law enforcement. He is the go-to in North America for this type of training.
So can you point out which one is Dave Canterbury? Is that the one with the beard?
Yeah, he's the one with the white beard. He should be standing on my left.
So this is CFP.
If you're looking directly at me, it would be my right.
Yeah, this is CFP right here in the middle with the American flag patch on his arm. So he just completed a very badass, survival I guess you would say it's a course, but it's really testing, everything out in the actual wild over 4 days, 3 nights. This is pretty cool. So let me play the audio for this for a second because it was muted. Hold on. So
Perfect. I can edit it. I can cut right there, man.
Yeah, right here with me, man.
Okay.
Tell us when you're live, brother.
I'm live.
All right, guys, here we are at the Pathfinder School with Survival Living, just patched the intermediate class. If you want some good information, check his channel out on YouTube for sure. Good job, man.
All right. Perfect. I can edit it. I can cut right there, man.
He's like, I'm calling the asshole instructors on me and Dave. Good job. Fucking Sean, man.
Yeah, good job editing, by the way.
Yeah.
That is
that there wasn't a very good job on editing. I was on the fly. I was on a bus, Greyhound bus. Now, before I took that course, man, I did 3 days on Greyhound, and I got about 6 hours of sleep in a motel and went right into the course.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw
I
one
was
of
already exhausted before I even got there.
I saw one of the videos where you were sitting basically against a wall, kind of just waiting for Greyhound, and you got screwed over or something.
Yeah.
So, no. Well,
yeah, I was up in Tallahassee, and all of a sudden they took my ticket, and they say, yeah, that ticket's no good anymore. I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, I heard. So what we'll do is we'll link your channel. But while I still have you here, because, again, you're looking at everything I'm looking at. I've been telling people, so
yes, sir.
Anybody that's new, I just talked to a couple, I just had an interaction with another creator, and they didn't really know me that well. So they look at one thing that I see, and I know I get because I've had family and friends of family look at my channel, and immediately people think that it is fear porn because they don't watch the channels. They see the thumbnails or they see what gets people in the door, but they immediately make judgments on my channel, and I'm sure they make judgments on all these channels. They think that we're fear porn. I guess one thing about fear porn, that would be if we're afraid. We're more about, prepping for the unexpected. And we have had enough examples throughout history. Katrina, of course, any number of storms around the country, tornadoes, every little thing, earthquakes, anything that's hit that was unexpected. And people are never prepared. There's a certain faction of people that say that that's stupid. Why would you not be prepared for these things that you know are going to happen? As far as the science, if these same people want to support science in other places, then for you not to support it in the fact that we have natural disasters that are coming, overdue in so many different areas. And then, of course, you have events like a Carrington level, of course, solar storm type event that's going to happen. It is an eventuality. It's not something that, may happen. It's going to happen. Why would we not prepare? But then they look at this channel, and the one thing I would say is we're not just shouting it out to do it. It's because we firmly believe this, and we're not crazy for believing it. Anybody that's in this audience knows that. Like, this is real stuff. And if anybody actually did enough research, they would see the opposite. They would think that we're not talking about stuff enough. We're not going, deep enough into this stuff. Don't you think?
Yeah, and I completely agree with you on that. And I run into the same thing. Like you said, clickbaity thumbnails, titles and stuff, it's just get people click in. Well, the reason I do it that way is to get them to click. I hear the same comments. Well, I don't like the fear porn. I don't like the drama. But every time I make a thumbnail that gets the most views, it's showing that. But in the context of the video I'm doing, I'm talking about what is being said, and I'm giving it an option. All right, guys, if this comes to play, I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying if this comes to play, we need to have this ready. We need to have that. Just like you don't sit there and beat down the door, buy gas mask now, you're all going to die in 2 months. You've never done that. You've read the news, you've connected the dots, shown the paperwork, and say, guys, this is what's going on right now. This is the news we're reporting. You need to make a decision. Just be prepared. It's not screaming and hollering. Fear porn is when you're up there saying you got 2 weeks and that's it, guys. That's fear porn. Anything else, you're trying to give information out, and people have to make a decision off that information. But yeah, I run into it all the time, and they sit and they call it clickbait, whatever. If it gets them to click and actually learn how to do something, you may have just saved a life. All right. I'm not saying go mortgage your home. But you need to look at something. Hey, why don't you start putting at least $5 worth of food back each week? That $5 is about 2 meals. Okay, that's 2 meals my family gets to eat before something happens.
Exactly.
So yeah, I do understand that. I really do.
Yeah, no, I know you do, and that's why it's a pleasure to have you call in. We're gonna connect people to your, of course, your channel. Again, if you're newer here, you can go to marfooglenews.com. We have links to all of the articles, all of the videos, all of the tweets. But not only that, at the bottom there is callers. So anybody that has a channel, if they're a creator, we've helped over 1,000 channels get to 1,000 subscribers or more. Just within our Foogle family, there's a lot of creators. They're really great channels. They're good people that are really smart. Two heads are better than one. Well, 1,000 heads are really a lot of help. So make sure to check him out. He is definitely serious about prep. That nobody can argue. So thank you, CFP. I really appreciate you coming on today.
Absolutely, brother. You guys take care. You'll be safe, okay?
All right, you too. Have a good night. Be safe. Be prepared. And Marf out. U.S. military admits that it took out 10 civilians and targeted the wrong vehicle in Kabul airstrike. So I don't know about you guys, but when I watched this press conference, I thought it was one of the weirdest things ever. Now, Dex, if I could have you come in here, I don't know if you watched this press conference, but when I watched this, I thought this is kind of weird. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they've had exact press conferences just like this. Maybe it's different because this general or whoever this is, the combat leader, is on a screen somewhere else, right? This guy's maybe live from Kabul. But it's like, how many times in the past, 15 years since we've had Predator drones or longer, have they done a weird kind of press conference and go over the exact details when before they've done this kind of stuff, they've taken out who knows how many hundreds, if not thousands or more civilians with Predator drones. And every time it happens, they don't go over all of the details. They've taken out kids before. They've taken out, everybody.
Yeah. So this was a sort of a big event in the fact that it went down during the evacuation, but it was also a big event in that the social media and others had debunked it right away and said, hey, they didn't even hit a proper target. They hit the wrong person. The guy was just filling up water jugs and carrying water in multiple jugs in a vehicle. And that's what they had said. And so this is when, I think it was a couple of shows ago, we had talked about Blinken getting drilled on the Senate, where they asked, did you know who you were targeting? And they're like, well, we don't know. We're investigating it. And it's like, well, shouldn't you know before you shoot? You don't investigate after the fact, right? You should know who your target is before you're doing it. So this got a lot of publicity, a lot of negative publicity. So I think that's probably one of the reasons why they had to come out and make a statement about it and not clear the air, but actually own up to the error, because it was pretty blatant and pretty obvious.
He looks like he's about a week from retirement. Just to be honest, it's the gentleman said for how many years he's been in the military, it sounds like he's pretty close to retirement. So what he said is he takes full responsibility. I don't know if that's to get, is the public going to see it like that? Is the public going to say, oh, it's not the B administration's fault? Of course not. This was like this. I don't know. I just think they could have put out a report on it, or had somebody says, hey, we published this report on what happened. 7 children were involved. 7 children supposedly lost their life in this Predator strike because this gentleman was filling up water bottles. Whatever it is, I always just look at everything and ask questions and ask questions and ask questions. Now the people that have seen this video and seen this, it's all over Twitter. It's all over the place. Mind you, this is trending. Meanwhile, every TV show, every late night talk show host is talking about Nicki Minaj, and that is nowhere on Twitter trending. Nowhere. Because she's talking negatively about Twitter, right? But this is everywhere. Everybody's watching this video. Everybody's really pissed, red in the eyes, and they are absolutely zoned in on the current administration. Just my personal opinion. Can't back this up. but I feel like this is very purposeful. They have now completely turned on this president, which, you can say whatever you want. All I'm saying is they're basically like putting a neon flashing sign like, hate this guy, hate this guy. I'm not going to even go into whether he deserves it or doesn't deserve it or whatever. What are they pointing us to, and I feel like people are being manipulated, period. If they're manipulated towards it or away from it, either way, if you're manipulating, then you're manipulating. Delaware Sasquatch says nothing helps the economy more than making people quit their jobs and ban them from commerce. Good job, Lemmings. That's right. And then Christopher Stanbeck, thank you so much for subscribing. Denise Sarbaugh says, have you heard about that? Yes, I did. And then, of course, Mike Byers, Linda Edgley, thank you for just subscribing. Luis Coronado, thank you for subscribing during the show. Nancy Armbruster, 11 minutes ago, subscribed. Thank you, everybody that has popped in. Corey Vex, I appreciate you as well. Thank you so much for subscribing. What do you think about this? Let us know in the comments down below or in the chat. In general chat, we have all sorts of really great people. We have Sarah Lee, Kenny Crowder, Old School Foogle Fam, Barefoot Lass, lots of OGs here. Colleen Geese, Bear Claws, Leap of Faith, What's Her Name 45, Jem 1 Out B, Kim O'Donnell, Stoplight, JF5 and 7. We got Pam Beth, Simulation 7. One of my, earliest subscribers there. Hey, what's going on, Sim? And then Jamie Turnage, T Shark. We've got Darren Pearson. Some new names too. Dirty Skies, California. You're old school. Robert Arias, thank you. Daggett and Stump. Teresa Lilly, thank you. Nice to see you. Android Architect, thank you. Darren Lee Brandt, thank you. Everybody that has popped in. Quasimodo says, "What's up, Marfoogle?" M Swords, a nice emoji. All right, so let's move on. Twitter cedes Taiwan to China. So okay. One thing about this piece is that this is, I believe, theory based on experimentation and them actually doing this. So this was freebeacon.com. What they have done is they have taken Twitter, they have typed in several names from different computers, different, incognito, no attached record. And what they have done is they have looked up Taiwan, and what they have found is quite alarming, because essentially the whole thing with Taiwan is that China says that these social media networks should show Taiwan as China. All of the search engines and social media networks, China is saying, hey, you need to, if somebody types in Taiwan, that's Taiwan, China. That's not Taiwan, Taiwan. That's Taipei, China. And it says China has finally taken control of Taiwan, according to social media networking giant Twitter, which redirects or supposedly redirects some search for the word Taiwan to results for the word China. It says China's regime has long laid claim to Taiwan, an independent island founded by those fleeing communism. Journalist Gerald Beer on Friday morning noticed that Twitter's discrepancy, which mirrors Chinese Communist Party talking points. It says the Washington Free Beacon confirmed the pattern and estimated that between 4 and 5 tweets with the word China show up for every one that references Taiwan. So essentially they've entered in, and they're showing you anytime you type in Taiwan into search, it's going to show you things that relate back to China. It says the pattern suggests that, of course, that Twitter maintains a policy of linking the two countries in search, perhaps as a way to placate the Chinese Communist Party. The party says that the Taiwan is part of China and has escalated its rhetoric regarding its potential invasion. One of the first tweets to show up in searches explicitly referencing Taiwan is part from a spokesman for China's foreign ministry and reads in part, quote, Taiwan is part of China. China must and will be reunified. This historical trend cannot be stopped by any force. The United States does not formally recognize Taiwan, but informally supports the country's government militarily and maintains a de facto embassy in the capital city of Taipei. So it says Twitter's obeisance to China is surprising, in part because the social media platform is already banned for Chinese users. More than 50 Chinese citizens have been jailed for using the platform in breach of Chinese regulations. But China cares deeply about controlling discourse about Taiwan on American platforms. Chinese diplomats launched campaigns to claim falsely that CV originated in America. Remember, they have now, the actual Chinese government is telling their entire country that we started it. Now, no matter who, no matter what is true, whether they did or we did, both countries are pointing at each other. It's pretty clear what is going on right now. And to somebody who does not follow any of this and doesn't watch the news, it would be kind of hard to accept the fact that we are basically right at the point of war. No, I mean, I could see how somebody who, is just totally distracted by, everything going on right now and all the stuff that they put on radio and TV and late night talk shows and all that, that is completely putting you away from what's really happening right now. We are about to see in our generation another world conflict. And I'm sticking with that because I know it's true. I don't care if people judge me for it, because at this point it's like, who cares? It's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like, if people care if you, if you're, you say you're 6 feet tall and you're 6 feet. I mean, it's like, how it's a fact. I don't know how people can really miss this. It says Twitter is not the only Silicon Valley company to bend the knee to China. Apple allows Chinese officials to physically monitor its facilities and data centers in the country. And Microsoft aggressively censors LinkedIn to remove references to topics that the CCP finds sensitive. So they're all giving him the whoop whoop. Matrix Resurrections 12/22/21 made video relating at Elon Musk's new username and company from article Colossal to this. Joseph Newhouse dives into deep subjects that we talk about here on the show. He is a creator as well that we've helped. Awesome creator. Make sure to go check him out. I'm interested in that. That new Matrix coming out is a trip. Of course, Matrix is where red pill, blue pill came from. That whole thing is insane. Teresa Irwin, thank you for subscribing. Paul Ryan, thank you for just subscribing 5 minutes ago. Appreciate that. And then we have Milley, which of course we actually have more information than this on our web-only content, but it says Milley, calls to China were perfectly within scope of job. This is, of course, the Associated Press. It says a top U.S. military officer said Friday that the calls he made to his Chinese counterpart in the final stormy months of DT's presidency were, quote, perfectly within the duties and responsibility of his job. Now, if you have not followed this story, essentially General Milley, before T-Man was out of the office, not only did he tell his whole set of employees, he said, hey, if there is anything as far as nuclear going on, I have to be a part of the process, which he is not a part of the process. He said, it has to involve me. Had a secret meeting behind the president's back, said, if there's any escalation, I need to be involved, and we're going to shut it down. On top of that, before 4 days before we all dropped things in that box that counted for the next prez, which is a filtered word. 4 days before that, he called the Chinese leaders. And then, of course, on January 8th, 2 days after this whole big event, he called again the same day that he said that if there's any escalation, that to involve him. On the 8th, he said to China, if we are going to attack you, I will make sure that I will tell you first. So say if we were going to do a surprise attack of any kind, so if T-Man basically ordered and orchestrated a first strike response to anything that China was doing, General Milley would have called Xi first and let him know, like, hey, we're on our way, get prepared. Our technical and physical enemy. So that got out, and now people are freaking out because it's like, how is that not treason, sedition, or whatever you want to call it, mutiny? Well, it is. But since it was under T-Man, everybody's like, rock on, you rule, man. Who cares what president it was? Does anybody have, are we just pretending that we even have a structure anymore? Like, think about that. If the president isn't actually in charge of anything, if people can cut their mics off and go behind their backs and undo decisions because they're supposed to be the ones that we put in power, right? And then they're going off of a network of extremely professional people that are all advising every subject has an expert on. If they're going to move a lake, they have 40 advisors on that lake if it's going to affect the environment, if it's going to affect the fish, it's going to be everything. And then those all basically get together and make the decision, and then they go up to the president and he gets the final kind of stamp. Or at least that's what it's supposed to be. But now, since T-Man, it's publicly just a joke. And then now with the new one, somebody has the authority there to actually just cut his mic off, period, even when he's in mid-sentence or when he's making farting noises or whatever he ends up doing. It says, in his first public comments on the conversation, General Mark Milley said that such calls are routine and were done to reassure both allies and adversaries in this case in order to ensure strategic stability. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff spoke to the Associated Press and another reporter traveling with him to Europe. Milley has been at the center of a firestorm amid reports that he made 2 calls to General Li Zuoshang of the People's Liberation Army to assure him that the United States was not going to suddenly go to conflict or attack China. That's something that the president should be doing with the president, not a general to the enemy army. No matter who you put in charge, whatever you are, whatever political stuff is going on, if it's a D or an R in the office, well, to be honest, they're all D's in the office, but doesn't matter what side of the aisle they're on. Somebody like this should not be undercutting their superiors and going directly to an enemy state, one that has stolen intellectual property from us, one that has, recently had such things happen like, burnt everything in their U.S. embassy, and we went in and arrested people. This is just nuts. This is absolutely absurd. So, what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. That's just my opinion. What's yours? If you disagree with me, then we can't be friends. No, I'm just kidding. If you disagree with me, be nice and be polite, and let's talk about it. Name last. I like that. Name last. That's how they do it in France, I think. Thank you for subscribing. Podcast fan, thank you for the $25 super chat. Says, great show as always. Thank you for your support today. Thank you for supporting Independent. Delphina Seha, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate that as well. 3 minutes ago. And again, Delphino, thank you. Dex, it looks like we have another caller. If you guys want to call in, it's 224400-MARF. Again, that's 224400-MARF. This is a first-time caller named Audrey and has recent info about Yellowstone as reported by Miss Greeley. Dex, do you want to, let's pop up Audrey. Audrey, you can come in right now. Thank you for coming on tonight.
And Adam, we're getting Audrey on the line right now. Hang on 1 second.
Oh, no. Thank you. R15 says, has bad flash floods in downtown Richmond, Virginia on highways. City didn't close floodgates. R15, thank you for the Ninja Guinean. We will most likely be covering that tomorrow. One Way, thank you for the diamond. Milley is a traitor and earned the gallows. That's extreme. Hello, Audrey. What's going on?
Hello. Well, my husband is a YouTube watcher. I do the work in the house, but he informed me that that young lady that has the other YouTube channel, I watch her also, does all kinds of information about Yellowstone. She lives near there. And so she is very knowledgeable and has graphs and all kinds of information. And she says that Yellowstone is ready to go off at any moment. And then she also said that she found out that after Yellowstone does go off, that food receiving places will be set up. She didn't say where, but I'm sure it'd be outside of that blast zone. And people will be allowed to get only 2 items of food, and they have to show that they have taken that V thing.
Yes, thank you.
And the reason they're only allowed to buy 2 items is so that they're not supplying people who have not taken the V thing, which I'm one of. So that throws me in a predicament there. We are preppers, though, but, there's some things you still want to be able to get, like milk, fresh eggs, things like that.
Now,
and so I wanted...
Do you do any social medias at all? Do you, other than YouTube? Do you guys do like Twitter or Facebook or anything like that?
No.
So just so you know,
we stay off of all of that stuff.
Well, no, that's a good thing.
We're very private.
No, that's a good thing, and I would say just even with friends and family, now there is something that has been going on Facebook where if people have friends or family that are preppers, they want them to report it to the Gestapo on Facebook, and the Facebook is actually working with the U.S. government. We know that for a fact. They announced a partnership over CV, so it's like I wouldn't even at this point, unless you have to, or if it's like real close family, I wouldn't even tell people, even if you're not on Facebook, because somebody that if you tell oh, we're ready for this, we're ready for that. It's becoming to the point where it's like you might just want to keep it to yourself. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Well, our family who does know are going to be relying on us, so they know they'd be cutting their face off, cutting their nose off to spite their face if they were to do that, shooting themselves in the foot. So they know to keep their mouth shut.
I love it. That is awesome.
And I'd like to make just 2 quick comments about things you just recently talked about.
Okay, go ahead.
My opinion is the reason Beijing is talking about the USA developing that CV. The bad thing is I think they're trying to point the finger at Fauci because of that. What was it? Pay to play thing? Is that what it was called? Where he directed American funds for research.
Yes. The agency, the 5-letter agency. Yes. No. I'm familiar. Yes.
See, he was involved in that. He lied in front of certain politicians about it, but Beijing knows better. And I think they are trying to get more investigation put on him.
Well, he might be the patsy.
So that's why they're saying
he might be the patsy.
Pardon?
He might be the patsy at some point, but somehow throughout everything that's come out, they just say, "Oh, those are loopy people. Those are crazy people. So it's all fake and it's all this, and you listen to the wrong news and." They have wrong facts, even though they're verified. It really doesn't matter anymore because even if you have facts, a fact checker will just say, nope, it's not. So it's pretty lame.
Well, they're not. They may be fact checkers, but they're not factual putter-outers.
Well, Audrey, it was a pleasure to have you tonight. Is there one more thing you wanted to say before you go?
Okay. Yeah, one more thing. That General, his last name starts with an M. I think the reason he told the Chinese general that, I'll forewarn you, forewarned is forearmed, is I think he's trying to get himself a slot in their army. He's trying to take care of himself with the enemy.
Well, maybe you mean maybe he has information that maybe they've done war games and they say, oh, they'll lose. So you're saying maybe he'll get a spot at the table at the new world that China's a leader in.
Exactly. He's padding his own nest.
Well, I see a lot of that going on. Well, Audrey, to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me. And if it does go down, my faith is that we won't lose. That's my hope. But again, I don't underestimate the enemy. A lot of people do. They all think that China is so backwards and so this. Obviously, they have done a whole lot of damage with their backwards ways. So
that's why I pray to our Heavenly Father to cleanse their hearts and get in their minds and turn them around so that they don't go to the bad spot, so that they go to heaven with the rest of us good people.
Right on. Well,
we're supposed to pray for our enemy, and that's what I do.
That's exact. I mean, it's really hard to do, and sometimes it's really hard to be someone who doesn't put others down and pushes people up. But all we can do is really try. So, well, thank you so much, Audrey. It was a pleasure speaking with you. It's your first time call. I hope that you are not a stranger. Will you call back again?
When I have some good news, I sure will.
Okay. Well, hopefully that'll be often.
And I did tell Dick about some information I had about something else y'all talked about recently, and so he gave me his email, and I'm going to be sending him some information.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you.
Love you.
Love you too. Love you too. God bless you.
Give your wife and kids hugs from us from Texas.
All right, I will. All right, thank you so much. Audrey, you're a sweetheart. Thank you so much. That was Audrey from Texas, and what she suggested, the channel that she suggested, Mary Greeley. Mary Greeley's been around for a long time. We will put that link on our website, so you'll be able to actually access the video that she was talking about, which Mary Greeley talks a lot about earthquakes, Yellowstone, of course, weather and phenomena like that. Fun channel for sure. So as far as that goes, I mean, there's so much crazy nut stuff out there. Sunshine Quintana says, you are all amazing. It all comes around full circle. Sunshine Quintana, thank you so much. I don't believe I've seen your name before. I know that you've been here for a little bit, Sunshine, but again, Arizona Mountain Sky says, blessings, Foogle family, praying for wisdom, discernment, guidance, and faith. I am too. I really hope that we can get through this and just on a real level, I would hope that I would hope that we were wrong about all of this. I really do. But at the same note, if you actually see what is happening and you see all of the things that have happened over the last 2 years, things are not going to go back to normal, and it's part of our human nature to think that it is. It's not. Nothing's ever going to be the same. We lost. We're losing the last straws of whatever you could call as the old ways. The entire world is slowly converting to this new thing, and it's not going to go backwards. It's not going to all of a sudden get better. Even if this thing went away tomorrow, it's not. There's no changes, because then it would be about preventing the next one. Even though, I guess here's the thing. What if the whole world actually voted and said, hey, we just all want to gather up. We all want to govern. Just as far as this stuff, if another thing like this happens, would we rather like to live by these things, or would we rather like to take the choices and, monitor ourselves, keep away from other people if there's something like this, and then live free. What do you think people would choose if you got the entire world together without all these different groups getting involved? I bet you most people would say, 99%, 99.9%. How about we handle this? Podcast fan, again, thank you, Delfino Siha. Stephanie Montgomery, thank you for your support. Thank you for the $20 super chat. I appreciate that. You can always write a message there if you get it. If you do next time, of course. Okay, so Japan is preparing for conflict. Before we go and do that, I do want to remind you right now, you can actually get a discount on every single EMP shield that you get. This is one of the many things that people believe is one of the top things that could happen to our country and our world. Many places, if you're in the UK or Australia, these are equally a threat. Your governments are now talking about it. Your governments are now trying to protect their government and military buildings. But guess what? They're not going to sit there and say, hey, we're going to give you one of these for your house. Oh, yeah, and we want your car to be protected too. Neither are the dealerships. In fact, there's actually a new company that's making these crazy utility vehicles that are EMP proof. But until those are all standard on cars, or if you have a car that isn't, I highly recommend this. EMP Shield is by the same company that is contracted by DHS, DOD. In fact, we started working with them before their giant contracts. At one point, we even thought that we didn't know if they were going to continue selling their product to consumers because of their government contracts. So again, you can still get these. Go to marfooglenews.com/EMP to protect yourself against all three phases of an EMP. That means whatever device you end up wiring this into, it will protect it against all types of EMP. Not only that, the Carrington level event, level solar flare that will eventually happen, this can protect you up to 228,000 amps. This is like the best surge protector in the world on steroids. So again, they're very easy if you're going for like the car model. Anybody can put that in themselves. As far as you can get one for your house, your car, your RV. You can get one for your boats. You can even get one for your solar system and even your ham radio. They make a device for almost anything and everything. Anything that you want to keep running, you should have one of these on. And if you use our code, not only are you helping our channel survive, but you are also getting a huge discount, $50 off per device, and it stacks on top of any sale they are currently doing. We've shown you the EMP task force results. We've shown you what Peter Pry is saying. Again, we got to get Peter Pry on this channel. He's way up there, but we're still grasping. We're gonna try to get some of these people on. These people are walking in and out of the White House. These are the people that again. This is way bigger than people think, and they're not showing you this. They're showing you 10 other things. This is what they are preparing for quietly. All right, go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. That's it. All right, Dex. So, first of all, Japan preparing for conflict. First major military drills for 30 years as tensions rage with China over disputed islands. So, I'll have you pop in here, Dex. As far as, we just talked about some of this stuff, and now it seems like now Taiwan, we're drilling to land on highways. Of course, Taiwan is landing on highways. We just did it again with C-130s in Wyoming. Basically, we're preparing for an invasion. And now Japan is.
Yeah, it's more fuel to the fire, right? We've had Australia, we've got the Taiwan situation, you've got the consternation between the SK and NK, and now the Pacific area over there is getting to become a hotbed of activity and a hotbed of struggle between lots of countries, and we're right in the middle of it.
So with the struggle comes a lot of fear. A lot of people are worried about this. We know that we have family, of course, Foogle family that have friends and family in Japan. We in fact have some viewers from Japan. There's so much here to be unpacked. They have been moving equipment all over their island, which again, it's a huge island, and they have train footage. Their local kind of videos are basically spreading. They just had a North Korean missile land right, off of their waters or whatever, and that doesn't even faze them. What is being talked about with China? This is really causing a huge stir in Japan. Japan will stand up for Taiwan, and I do believe them what they say. Japan has a really strong cultural kind of. There is an honor system in Japan. There is a lot being said by their officials. They're like not joking about this. So it's a little bit different. Like they don't have. I mean, they have. I'm sure their version of politicians, but they when they say something, they do it. It's all the way back to WW2. I mean, like there is a lot here. It says China has claimed Japan is preparing for conflict, and I've replaced that word, as it stages its first major military exercise for nearly 30 years. The defense drills stoked already rising tensions between the neighbors, and a dispute over the chain of strategic island threatens to escalate into open conflict. Beijing's ships and planes have made dozens of incursions this year into the uninhabited Senkaku Islands, known as Diaoyu in China. Now, in a surprise move, Tokyo is pushing back at increasing aggression and plans new bases to defend the islands. It says it has bought new F-35 jets, converted ships into aircraft carriers, and is building new destroyers and submarines. And this week, nationwide exercises involving 100,000 troops. This is a giant one. So now you have Russia with hundreds of thousands of troops, over 150,000 troops doing drills with Ukraine. You have China doing at least 200,000 troops. You have the U.S. We're a little bit more subtle about what we're doing, but we are pulling all of our people back. We've got all these drills going on in all of the oceans. In fact, we had the largest drill in 18 different time zones. Dex, am I exaggerating? Was it 18 different time zones?
No, it was a lot. Yeah.
Which means basically all over the world, the U.S. Military and Navy and Marines and Air Force were just drilling. The entire world is locked and loaded, and people are still not in belief. Japan, everybody is. Look at everybody. Everybody's scrambling to last minute. Everybody's throwing stuff together. Even Norway and Sweden are doing things, and they saw this coming a year and a half ago. They've put their navy inside of the mountains. Because strategically, somebody expects a first strike. Somebody expects a surprise attack. This is like... I don't know how people are totally blind to this. I don't know how you can see every country in the world preparing for conflict and say, oh, well, it's just going to be more propaganda. It's more rhetoric. It's only rhetoric until it's not. It says, and this week nationwide, of course, involving 100,000 troops from all units of the Japan Ground Self-Defense Force, kicked off in a huge show of force. The drills, also involving 20,000 vehicles, 120 aircraft, and a U.S. troop landing ship, are the first of this scale since 1993. It says, according to Japanese media, the drills are in direct response to China's ramped-up regional assertiveness. Beijing is reported to be closely watching the exercises and warned any conflict would bring, quote, destructive consequences to Japan. The state-controlled Global Times quoted military experts saying that the drills could be a sign that Japan is preparing for war. It also claimed that Japanese politicians have been lying to the people, leading to unreasonable hostility and bias against China. The Chinese experts have even boasted Japan lacks the ability to fight back in any case, could not do anything without the say-so of the USA. It comes amid the escalating arms race among Asian superpowers, with China and NK building hypersonic missiles and high-tech subs. Kim Jong-un this week tested a new cruise missile and a train-launched ballistic missile that are claimed to be able to strike Japan. The next prime minister who is key, Fumio Kishida, the man tipped to be Japan's next prime minister, recently said his nation should acquire preemptive military kit, such as fighter jets and missiles, to take out enemy weapons on the ground before they're launched. What he is talking about and what he's possibly suggesting is a first strike. Tensions over the Senkaku Islands have simmered for decades. They lie near vital shipping routes and hold valuable stocks of fish and potentially oil and gas, all of which they don't want to ask China to dish them out for, right? They want it themselves. China has claimed them since the 14th century, and Japan controlled them from 1895 until the end of WW2. After the surrender, they were administered by the U.S. until 1972, when they were handed back to Japan. Tensions boiled over again in 2012, leading to mass protests in China. So these have been handed back to Japan. So essentially the world kind of considers them Japan's. And now China is not only saying we're going to take Taiwan back from Taiwan, they're saying to Japan, hey, yo, Senkaku are ours now, boy. They are now going after two of these very capable countries, and savage ones if you consider their will and their as far as their might and their actual mental, their mental strength. These are the same people in WW2 that did kamikazes. The American soldiers that fought in WW2 know how strong the Japanese culture is and how tough they were.
Yeah, let's not forget, in that conflict, Japan actually invaded China.
Isn't that crazy? They invaded the larger China. They are tough. They're tough cookies. And they're saying that they're going to go if they take Taiwan, because guess what? You know why? I don't think that they might care about Taiwan. They might even care about the democracy and losing one, and they might care about the resources and maybe the current deals they have with Taiwan. But I also think that they know if China takes Taiwan, who do you think is next? Dex, who do you think, if they just take Taiwan and there's no fight back, who do you think that they would start taking next? Who would be next on the target?
Japan and South Korea. Well, and you've got all the Indonesian area as well. So, any it seems to me anything that's near the closest large islands and major resources. And as they head south, that'll really rattle Australia.
Absolutely. Just this stuff. This is, the truth is stranger than fiction. J Rockin, thank you so much. J Rockin again, thank you guys for the diamonds over there. Pearl, I appreciate you. I love Dashhound. So happy to be able to catch the live show. Chewy Weather, Sandra R, Dixie Doe. I love Chihuahuas. One Way, again, Bobby D, R15 says, had bad flash floods in downtown Richmond. And then, of course, Tower Bear government is full of triple agents. And then we have Angela 1609, R15s. Oh, I wonder if Tower Bear, if you're talking about what do you call it? What's her face? The Nicki Minaj. R15, so does anyone know what happened to Kamala H? She has all but disappeared. She's pulling strings. I said the same thing, why, it's just she's so, it seems to me, unless you are looking her out and looking up video, there's really not much at all. I haven't even seen her standing next to Jay, JB there. Bling on Grammy says, you and Dex are spot on. Thank you. Well, hey, thank you for watching and thank you for being here for us. Jurley Nikolai 862. We have over 5,000 people watching with D-Live. And Major Lee Stoned. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, everybody that's joined us tonight. And then we have the Clinton campaign. Attorney Michael Sussman pleads not guilty after allegedly lying to the FBI. Dex, do you want to go over this real quick as far as what happened here?
Well, obviously, he's the first, I think, to come out in the Durham stuff. There's probably more to come, but if I was him, I'd sort of be worried about what's going to happen over the weekend, right?
So
you don't want to go across the Clintons, and I don't think it's not that he is, but he's obviously being charged with something. So
yeah, so. Is he willing to take the fall, right? Or is he willing to take the death penalty from, or I guess the secret death penalty, the one where, he ends up taking his own, right?
Well, and we've also seen, not to be cited on this, but we've also seen different handouts, so to speak, when it comes to punishment for lying to, Congress or federal agents, which are both crimes, right? But, some people get the book thrown at them, and some people just get a slap on the wrist and a day on the tennis courts and then sent home.
A day on the tennis courts, yeah, because yeah, they're like, well, we put a little cardboard sign that says jail. You just sit in the tennis court and really like pull on the fence, make it really believable. Like, oh, I want to go home. Of course, we won't cut you off from the the clubhouse. You can still get diet sodas. No regular sodas, just diets. Charlene Rose, thank you for the $10 super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. You can always write a message there. Theta Mooned Me says, universal love, hope for our patriots, forgiveness for our misled brothers and sisters, open arms and minds for all human beings. I love that. Theta Moon Me. Thank you. And then Layla Cafe. Again, you can write something there, but you choose not to. Thank you so much for being around for a long time now, Lola Cafe. You've been here for quite a long time. I remember the first time I saw your screen name because there's a Lola Cafe in Seattle. It's, I believe, over in West Seattle. Stephen McMahon, God bless all in this house. Stephen McMahon, thank you for just being awesome. And then Sunshine Quitana, again, thank you. Stephanie Montgomery, again, thank you. And then Arizona Mountain Sky, you guys are awesome. Thank you guys for supporting Independent. Make sure to, and by the way, in a second here, we're gonna do a little exercise. Will Prince Andrew pay his way out of the Epstein mess? The Epstein. Yeah, that's what it is. Epstein. So it says Prince Andrew may well end up making a financial settlement with Virginia Giuffre. Legal experts have told the Daily Beast after lawyers for the prince participated at the 11th hour in the American legal process this week. Any such settlement would, of course, likely be couched in carefully negotiated verbiage, specifying that Andrew did not admit to anything untoward. Untoward, right? Anything unbecoming. It says there would be no official admission of guilt. Individuals would be left to draw their own conclusions as to what such payment would signify. Giuffre's legal team did not respond to a request by the Daily Beast for comment. However, that team, led by attorney Dave Boyes, has clearly cast the civil lawsuit as a moral crusade, saying in court filings, for example, that it is, quote, long past the time for Andrew to be held to account. They mean held to our accountant and give him a ton of money, suggesting that any settlement that explicitly exonerated Andrew might be a bitter pill to swallow. But they're going to do it. So any accusers or anybody that ends up saying anything, they all get paid off. This is how it works when you are in the uber elite. People think that this stuff just goes away. It doesn't. What happens is the people that are the accusers are never morally stronger than, hey, would you shut up for 1 million? No, 2, 3, 4, and they just keep going until they sign the contract. And then guess what? It goes away. That doesn't fix any system. It fixes that person's life. And who knows? They might get 5 million and then mysteriously they fly off a bridge somewhere. Mysteriously they something happens and you know, they're not traveling doing cooking shows anymore, if you know what I mean. FDA panel recommends COVID buffer doses for people 65 and older after rejecting the third boom booms for the general population. It says, as influential Food and Drug Administration Advisory Committee on Friday rejected a proposal to distribute Pfizer and BioNTech's CV vaccine to the general public, paring back those plans to unanimously recommend the third bang bang to people age 65 and older and other vulnerable Americans. It says it's likely beneficial, in my opinion, for the elderly and maybe eventually be indicated for the general population. I just don't think we're in yet in terms of the data, Dr. Ofer Levy said. It says a V and an infectious disease specialist at Boston Children's Hospital. Because a specialist at a children's hospital should be deciding what happens to 65-year-olds. Since they're all specialists in very, very specific things.
And let's not forget 2 specialists that were in charge of this resigned about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, allegedly over this topic.
Oh, Dex, there's nothing like weird going on here.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. There's nothing at all. Right? Right? Can I hear myself thinking? Hello? It's pretty empty up there, huh? Let's get our next caller on. It looks like we have John, another first-time caller, UFO in sky during the Japan tsunami. Craziness. Calling from Indiana. Let's get Joe on the phone. Or I'm sorry, John. John, you are live on Marfoogle News.
What's up, man? How's it going?
How are you doing, John? So, what's going on tonight?
Nothing, man. I sent Dex a clip that I thought was pretty interesting. I was doing some searching for some videos on Mother Nature kind of wreaking havoc, and came across a compilation that had a pretty interesting beginning to it. So I thought I would call and talk to you guys about that. So,
again, is there a timestamp that I could possibly go to a screenshot? Is there?
Yeah, there is a minute 12 into the video, roughly. It may start like a couple seconds after, but if you look to the left of the screen, just about in the middle, you'll see a bright, like white, silverish, streaking object come across the screen. It shoots kind of from bottom center left up towards the right top half of the screen.
All right, I'm going to put this off for a second. I'm going to oh my goodness. No, I don't know. What in the world?
You know what I'm talking about then?
Okay, but wait, hold on.
It's interesting to say the least, right?
Well, hold on. I want to make this might slow things down. Oh, you know what? There's nothing above 360p. So okay. So I'm gonna show you a couple things here. The thing is, this is CNN, so it is most likely. Okay, let me show you what he's talking about. There's about 3 seconds here. You can see it pass over right here. Okay?
Yeah,
And
at first I thought it may be a helicopter, right, or a plane or something. But if you look when it gets close to the cars, it's similar in size, but it's moving a lot faster. I mean, the speed the ground it's covering is pretty tremendous.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me throw this on. I'm gonna do this, and then let's turn on my video. Okay, so I'm gonna let me see. Okay, so where we would be looking is right about where the corner of this box, the box that I'm in, this corner, it goes up. Let's see. It goes up like that. So I'm reacting to this here. Let's see. So watch. Boom. Let's see. It's this shot right here. Okay, so watch very carefully. Right there. So if you're looking at the corner of this box, it's lined up with that the first gray rubble right here. Okay? So watch this. It's flying across. Now it's up above me. Okay? So just to watch that one more time. Watch. Boom, right there. And it's got a streak. If you can see my mouse.
It's almost like it's coming in with the body of water, and after it gets to a certain point, it kind of takes off. But I mean, it's moving. It is moving, definitely.
No, that's really crazy. Good catch. That is, I mean, this is 2011 tsunami footage. How many people really are going back? Wow, now 10 years.
Right.
10 years.
There's other compilations too with this same clip, and it's in every single one. It's there. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, I seen that. I thought it was interesting, so I thought I would call in and let you take a look.
Well, no, thank you. If you find anything else that's interesting, don't be a stranger. John, it's your first time call. I sure hope it's not your last. If you find honestly, there's a lot of that footage out there, and this was unbelievable footage, by the way. Even if you don't look for UFOs, go and watch this tsunami, because this is going to be, this is not going to be as bad as what is going to happen to our West Coast. The West Coast tsunami is going to be worse. It's going to be worse than this. You realize that?
Yeah, that's not. That's insane. The thought of that is just insanity.
Think about places like Oregon just gone. Just gone. 9.0, 5-minute earthquake. Well, John, thanks for letting us show. We'll make sure that this clip is available on our website. Within a few minutes of the show, this will be added to the bottom of the website under callers. John, you have a wonderful night, and please don't be a stranger, okay?
Hey, you too, Adam. Man, you and Dex are doing a great job. You guys keep it up.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Have a good night.
All right.
Be safe.
Bye-bye.
Unbelievable. Oh, by the way, the suggestions here. If you guys haven't checked out somebody live right here, Mark Pyers. He's a really funny guy, real talented musician, and he does impressions. He does all sorts of stuff. Mark Pyers, I guess his channel's name is Renaissance Man. Anyways, go check him out when you get a chance. And Me Puppet 007 says, what if an asteroid hit subduction zone and triggered Yellowstone? Me Puppet, that's insane. insanely possible. No, I don't know. That would be a little bit too much. That would be all of them at the same time. But who knows at this point? Dex, thank you for putting this here. I just wanted to say thank you. Hold on. There were a few people that today popped in. Anthony W., thank you so much for popping over to PayPal today. Sherry, Allow the Magic says, Marf Dex, Mrs. Marf, Mrs. Dex, mods, subscribers, supporters, and follower equals the Foogle fam. We are all here and love and appreciate all of you. You guys rock it. Thank you so much for keeping us informed on all the things. So proud to be in the fam. Started my video for trigger points for your Play My Video. I'm learning how to get it done and look right for you. And the fam, it says, with love and gratitude, Sherry, and Allow the Magic. I'm going to have to check out your videos at Allow the Magic. I'll make sure to go over and pop over and leave likes and comments. Claire M., thank you so much. Ambertracks.com, Waterproof Bibles website. Let's see here. Website trans are being misspelled by the transcript for company Ambertracks. Spells like Ambertracks. I don't know. I honestly don't. Let's see here. Ambertracks.com. Amber like the color. Tracks like railroad. Ambertracks.com. AKA Chicky R. Only God knows why. Quote from Kid Rock. Sending love from northeastern Maryland. Chicky, aren't you one that says Jeremiah is the bullfrog? That's awesome. Always does a song quote there. Thank you guys. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you to Gone Girl 777. We actually made a little art piece for several of you. Nappy Soldier, thank you for your support for us and my music and for everything else too. Normally you've popped in at the just most really sweet time, so thank you so much. Dex, there's like some crazy stuff over in web only. Can you explain that?
And while we're doing that, we also just had recently a 4-4 in LA, in Carson City. So
no
not that
way,
big, but still big enough that people should know.
Oh well, people felt it too. 4-4
yeah,
is.
I'm sure.
I've felt a 4-4. You have a jolt underneath your feet. I've felt a less than that, and it feels like the floor drops out from under you. Depends on how deep it is, I guess.
Yeah, it might even be a 4-7. You know how the numbers are always bouncing around when it first comes in. So
yep.
But yeah. So you guys check that out or pay attention. Keep your head on a swivel. Lots of information in web-only content. So go to marfooglenews.com. Click on the thumbnail for the show. Scroll down to that section that starts off with web-only content. Get the rest of the story. Get everything you're missing that we can't talk about, whether it's too hot for TV, didn't get it to fit in, or maybe it's just two-sided, and we try not to necessarily go that way with everything that we're talking about here. So find the rest of the story there. Definitely some very interesting information about politics, some stuff going on about the V's, especially some stats, some very interesting stats there specifically about the V and what numbers they're seeing in different areas. But everything else you're missing out on, you should go there and check it out. Even check out the past day. So if you didn't see yesterday's show, go down and look at web-only content for that show as well. Everything is compiled there. We spend a lot of time to get that stuff together for you and make sure that you've got a lot of information available at your hand. So marfooglenews.com, web-only content.
And there really is so much, really, an entire other show here. Make sure to go there. And then Phoenix Ryan, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the Foogle fam. Hopefully you are treated very nicely. Just because there's still 4,200 people here, just understand that I guess no matter what happens in your day, try to come in here and at least treat a couple people nice, because they're going to do the same. And then what ends up happening is, no matter how crazy or crappy your actual day went, you can come here, feel like you can let loose, feel like you can actually hang out with people that are gonna say nice things. If there's trolls, we even tell you to say, we try to give the trolls multiple chances, say what's going on, like, okay, you can say that kind of stuff, and then say what's going on with you. Because underneath it all, everybody is really having a horrible time, and a lot of us are just taking it out on other people. So remember that when you're getting treated like crap, it's probably just meaning that that person is having a 10 times worse of a day than you. Once you get past that, maybe, who knows, you might be best friends with that person in a month from now. And you'll laugh about it. You'll say, gosh, I thought you were such a dick when I met you. And now I love you. Some of my best friends in the world are people that I didn't like at first. We all do it. We all make instant judgments. We make impressions. We hear one sentence out of somebody's mouth and then we hate them, right? Or we like somebody for 2 years and then one thing just... Why is that? None of us are perfect. We're all human. We all make mistakes. We're all stupid at times. We're all the smartest person you know. Dust. Air used to be free at the gas station. Air used to be free. Now it's $1.50. You know why? Inflation.
I was going to say you're going to the wrong gas station.
Dude, dust. Air used to be free at the gas station. Now it's $1.50. You know why? Inflation. That was such a dad joke. That was such a bad dad joke. That's horrible, man. That was so good. Mary Smith, thank you for joining. Thankful Kind says, thanks, Marf, once again for getting me through my tedious nightly dishes. God bless Adam and the whole Foogle fam. Sherilyn Rose. Oh, okay. Dex, what do you call a cop lying in bed? What do you call police lying in bed?
Undercover?
Oh, why do you have to guess it right away? Undercover cop. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. You could have at least faked like you didn't know the answer. Kiwi Last, thank you for subscribing. Welcome over here. And then everybody on DLive, thank you. Go to the website for everything is all there. Everything is on our website. Everything. Make sure to go check it out. Love you guys. It is now officially time for the shoutro. Let me, I was going to load something real. Let's see here. Just wanted to say a quick. Let's see. What was it? Bam. Thank you to all of these people this week's PayPalers. Thank you guys. I really appreciate all of you. Leave this on for a few minutes here. It is now time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's a shoutro. It's where we say thank you to you.
Mr. Japan, what is a plan? 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 What is a plan? Mr. Japan. What is a plan, Mr. Japan? What is a plan, Mr. Japan? What is a plan, Mr. Japan? What is a plan, Mr. Japan?
Everybody go on with the Mary on Smith and Thankful Kind. Sharon on the roads and the best on by. 797 Sharon, ball, bow round, and everybody bones. Say M up in the chat. For the Mars and everybody gets like that. A Stephen McMahon, a Sunshine Quinn, Donna Ann, Arizona Mountains, Sky and Band, and Mr. Michael Sano, Sanio, and Miss Sheena Opus.
What is a plan, Mr. Japan? What is a plan, Mr. Japan? What is a plan, Mr. Japan? Mr. Japan, Mr. Japan. What is a plan, Mr. Japan? Mr. Japan, What is a plan, Mr. Japan?
Sunshine Katana, I'm Mr. Katana. Lola Cafe, everybody say they kept their word today. Everybody really wanna go funkified back in the Nolly Low with the Endla on the 1609. Still motivated, going back right. Everybody really wants to do the right, do right. On the chef, hey, WJS on the front name. Everybody want a JFM 57. Oh, Matrix 57, baby. Oh, Devin, don't you say hello. Devin, why don't you say hello? A deep state of mind, Chef for Lee, Jamie Chandler and Mr. Steve. One on B, a star of light. Jem, what's her name? 45. Hey, a J rockin' AR, 15 Joe and the J rockin' R. It's gonna be the chain, going right down in the chewy on the weather. Bring it back together. Priscilla R, Genie F Chandler. Everybody really wanna go down. The Farm 2 and the J4, a J Farm 2 and the J Bird, a 42 and the Dex J, a Bear Claws and the Chef Lay, Sherry Lee and the Wolf Lay. Bring it down and the top lay. Gonna go let it top blaze. Hey Mrs. Mark, my lovely Wi-Fi. I got Wi-Fi for wifey. You get it? What now? Wi-Fi for wifey. 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 AR-15 Joe. AR-15 Joe, bring it on the low. 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 AR-15 Joe, bring it on the low.